All right, guys, so watch this video for Thursday, August 27th. The SPY, the market, in other words, continues to break out here. For those of you that didn't make it to chat today, a few really nice calls. Go, which was in the watch this video last night because of this breakout. Look, you always hear me say we're looking for some kind of continuation play. Hats off to Ralph S. in the chat room. I think Go looked like this when he put it on my radar. And what we were looking for is a break of the half, 450, with yesterday's high just above. This is the opening candle today, and what a great call by Ralph. Ralph put it on my radar. I passed it along to the whole room. There's the 450 break. Quickly got the break of yesterday's high, which is the next catalyst. You always hear me talk about stat catalyst. He had a half number inflection point, high of day, and yesterday's high kind of stacked, right? And ended up getting a really nice rip. EVSI. Al posted a headline on EVSI in the room, and then Wayne saw Al's headline and called this, I probably have to go to 2-minute candles here, called this over 1270. I mean, it was a teamwork thing, right? The headline, volume started to come in, Wayne gave the idea, you still have the high of day above, and if you look at from 1270, this ended up going up to over 1420, I think to 1428. Just a great example of the teamwork that we see in there every day. And Big C, which was a huge move. Who would have thought, right, that it would have another huge day like that? Wayne called this long over 133, right about in here. And man, it went up to 150, I would say 152, but technically 150, 199, which is basically a $19 a share move on about $2 risk tops. Fantastic call by Wayne. So there were some highlights from today. What are we watching for tomorrow? mRNA, you kind of have a downtrend line here. Nice volume today, had a nice sounding headline and a pretty strong break of this downtrend line. And look for a follow through day in that one tomorrow. FLNT, big volume day and a pretty strong day. Maybe we get a continuation pattern tomorrow. Remember, I'm in cash every night looking for things that might give me an intraday A+ setup tomorrow. So TFFP, after hours 1395. Didn't really get a lot of volume in after hours, but it did spend some time between 1360 and 1380 in after hours. It looks like just glass. Well, maybe not. It really, never mind. It didn't have any volume in after hours. But point is, really strong stock and chopping around. It looked like it was rolling over last couple of days, right? Next thing you know, it's right back up into that range. And I've seen some nice sounding headlines posted on that name today. So let's keep our eyes on that. East, EAST. Nice 2-day run back here, pulled back, and starting to curl up again on decent volume for the stock. So I like the pattern, so I'm going to watch that one. VVPR had this huge gap up, but ended up with kind of an ugly day yesterday. Then today, kind of curling right back up again, finding support down here below 4. So maybe we get a long setup in this one. EVSI, I already talked about the call that Wayne made and Al and Wayne teamed up on. And it had really nice volume for the stock. It is worth pointing out that this big volume stick here still barely broke 1 million shares. I give you a little window into how thin that one is, but I do want to have it on a chart. LI, just a huge breakout today. And you know, I'm never one to say, hey, it's time to start buying something after a candle like this. But it's also, another way to look at it, it's a recently new issue, and it's so strong that as a day trader, I'd be remiss if I didn't have it on the chart really for the rest of the week. FLDM, nice gap up, but ended up closing about where it opened and had a pretty big range. So I do want to keep this one on watch. 134 million shares traded today, and then it ends up closing at about where it opened, which almost isn't fair, right? But anyway, we'll see if it gives a setup tomorrow. It did have a nice sounding headline about a saliva COVID test. DKS is Dick's Sporting Goods, big volume and closing near its highs. We'll see if we get a follow through setup in that. REDU, just a quiet inside day. So you had the huge move, 4 or 5 days lower, then a really nice bounce, and then a quiet inside day. So I'm not in love with it, but if we see volume come in, we might have a nice setup there. We'll see. CHCI, nice volume spike for this one, and in after hours, this actually went up to almost 4 before settling in around 340 something. I'm going to keep our eyes on that one. VFF, big pop yesterday. Quiet inside day today, much less volume. We'll look for a 3rd day play there. And then lastly, Kirk goes back on bounce watch. Another red day after this huge move, down a little bit below the 20-day. Certainly worth watching for a bounce setup tomorrow. We'll add gappers to this list in the pre-market, believe me, that's plenty to watch. Let's keep the teamwork going. I'll see everybody in the chat in the morning.